Well, hello there. It's your old pal Sean, and I am joined today by Bachelor correspondent Emily Godorsey. Hello, Emily.
Hi, Sean.
And we are talking Bachelor. Specifically, the Women Tell All happened last night. We were recording this the day after.
More like Women Yell All.
The Women Yell All because the good one, Emily, because they were talking over each other. Now, there's a lot of information that we have to unpack here. We got not only the closing moments of Peter's decision between Madison, Victoria F., and Hannah Ann, but we also got some insight as to how the season went, and spoiler alert, no one likes Peter. We also got a sneak peek at the finale for next week, and separate to last night's episode, we got the revelation of the new Bachelorette for this year. And excited to dust that off.
Yeah.
So all that and more, but let's go ahead and dive into the recap of what happened this week on The Bachelor.
Okay, it's time for the Women Tell All, where everyone goes from talking crap behind each other's backs to in front of each other's backs. But before we get to that, it's time to wrap up last week's edition of Peter Sucks So Hard with a rose ceremony between Madison, Hannah Ann, and Victoria.
That's right, in dramatic fashion. Pete gives a rose to Hannah Ann, setting up for the ultimate decision between the very best choice of the season with Madison and the very worst choice of the season with Victoria F. Peter, now that he's gotten the sexual escapade he was hoping for with Victoria, decides to dump her. There you have it. And go with Madison. Despite his horrible motives, this was simultaneously a win for Peter and a loss for Madison, who really should have gone home on her own accord because Pilot Pete sucks. Anyways, back to the Women Tell All.
Chris Harrison does what he does best and stirs the pot. Lexi says Madison gave an ultimatum. Sydney defends Madison and her convictions. America says Peter sucks. Alea and Victoria P pick up from where their drama left off, and then everyone revisits the infamous Champagne Gate. Cheyenne tells Kelsey her reaction was irrational. Kelsey agrees, but decides not to apologize. So, lesson learned?
Maybe?
I don't know. Anyways, Ashley I, a Bachelor alum, comes out to empathize with Kelsey's emotional responses and gives her a ginormous bottle of champagne. This show is pointless.
It really is. Now, Peter has to face the women he rejected, starting with Victoria F., who realizes that perhaps she could have handled things better.
Maybe.
So, good to know she can pinpoint the obvious. McKenna is annoyed that Pete put her through a rose ceremony and then sent her home after the 2-on-1, and Savannah tells Peter he sucks at rewarding all the drama this season on the show, which he does. Peter says that he followed his heart when I think he really meant to say his penis.
Little slip of the tongue.
Little Freudian slip. Happens all the time.
Yeah. From there, Rachel Lindsay, another Bachelor and the first one of color, comes out to give an actual moment of meaning to this otherwise useless show by addressing the hatred contestants receive on social media. Chris Harrison pretends his job is important and then segues to next week's finale and how it's the most dramatic and complicated ending in Bachelor history.
So, who will win? Who's Pilot Pete going to end up with? Hannah Ann or Madison? The answer is Hannah Brown or the random producer. Love is dead. Anyways, tune in next week to know for sure what happens on this thrillingly pointless edition of The Bachelor. Goodness gracious, so much to unpack here, Emily. So, initial thoughts
Okay.
Let's start with the final rose ceremony.
I was gonna say the rose ceremony. I feel really conflicted about the whole Peter giving Madison a rose thing.
I was rooting so hard for her to say no.
Yes.
And she almost did. You could see her thinking about it. And you could
she looked so sad to accept that rose.
I know, and I was I literally was smiling say no, dump him, dump him. And she gave in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Madison, you know better. You know this is going to end in heartache. I don't understand. You just had such a strong moment, and then, he's not even that good looking. I don't understand what it is about him that's, swaying you right now.
Well, maybe his tears. It would be hard to tell a guy in tears no.
No, it's easy. Jim cries all the time, and I tell him no. It's not that hard.
He's a sensitive guy.
Yeah, Peter more so. And the thing about it is, like this was the obvious choice, and for Peter to make here between Victoria F and Madison. I don't understand though. Like Pete didn't like. There was no hesitation almost. Like he knew Madison was his pick, and so which clearly again affirms the point that he had just kept Victoria F long enough so that he could sleep with her, and proving that he's a huge douche. And I don't care if he sees this or hears this ever, he won't. But even if he did, I'll tell it to your face. Pete, that was a slimy move, and you need to know it. You've been slimy this whole season. Don't even pretend you're taking the high road, because you're not. And I get it. It's mean for me to say these things to you. But you know what? You're a grown-ass man. You chose to go on this show. You need to take the criticism as it comes. I would tell it to you in person, but I don't know you. So from this podcast medium or this video, you suck, Pete.
I really enjoy your hatred of Peter.
I don't hate him. I just hate his decisions. I would love to have a beer with him and just tell him, you need to be better, son, and you need to make better choices here. That's what it all is. You're young, and here we are.
How old are you?
Old enough to tell him, son.
I think you're the same age as him.
Even worse.
But you're smarter.
Well, thank you. I wasn't
Maybe.
fishing, but I'll take it.
Maybe.
It's not a high bar.
I might take that back.
It's not a high bar.
But what would have happened? Okay, so what if Madison had said no to the rose? Then what happens? It's super awkward because clearly he didn't want to give Victoria F a rose, but would she get it by default, or would the show end by default in that all he has left is Hannah Ann?
That's a really good point. I didn't even consider that. Maybe there was a producer meddling moment here of...
You have to take this rose, Madison, or we know where your parents live. I don't know.
Like they might be holding someone at gunpoint right now. The producers of The Bachelor get what they want. I do think that because it just doesn't make sense. And we'll get to the teaser here at the end of what happens next week, or what we think happens next week. But Madison knew better last week. It seemed like she was pretty resolute, and here we are. I don't know. I think it was a bad choice made, but...
The other thing that's a little weird is we actually never saw the resolution of their conversation at the date night. Like, that was the cliffhanger of last week. It was, Peter holding Madison. They're both crying. What's going to happen? And then we cut to rose ceremony. I mean, we don't really know how they ended that night.
What fills in the gaps there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, for all we know, like, Madison could have just been like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. And Pete would have been like, you're so right, I'm the worst, and I'm just an awful human being. And she would have been like, yeah, we're totally cool here. And the producer would have swooped in and be like, not so fast, we have a contract, you signed it, suck it. And she's like, damn it, you got me again, contract. But all that was off camera, so we'll never know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's transition to the women tell all here. Did you think that we got anything useful out of this? Or do you think it was just literally just spinning wheels for a solid hour?
It only confirmed that all of the editing that we think goes into manipulating the story and the episodes, all that editing was not unrealistic, it just confirmed all the arguments and all the attitudes all these women had. It was just confirmed.
So you feel like the producers didn't really even have to massage the narrative?
No. Clearly these women hate each other.
They hate each other and they hated Peter.
Yeah, and even the attitudes and the eye rolls, and I get that they probably cut to Tammy rolling her eyes at moments that were not matched up with what was actually happening. I think that is true. But still, she makes those faces. You can't make up those faces. And you can't make up McKenna yelling at people and pointing her finger in a really weird way that... did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was weird. You just can't make that stuff up. And so I think for me, it just confirmed exactly what we had already seen, but it kind of solidified that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that I think all along there's some seasons I'm sure where the producers really have to go fishing and really try to have to just film what they can and try to cut something together that seems scandalous. But this year, I mean, Peter just kind of dug his own grave, and so I think he's just kind of affirmed like what we've been saying is he has not handled things very well. Even Colton looks awesome right now.
Colton is looking like a freaking hero.
And I spent the better part of this podcast last year talking about how annoying Colton was. So, I mean, that should tell you just how much lower this bar is.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Women Tell All, I do think, and there's something I do want to address. I think the comments that we got towards the end, where they're talking about the influence of social media and the hatred that goes on that, I think that was valid. And again, I want to address this a little bit and camp out here. So part of me says, hey, you signed up for this show. You know how passionate Bachelor fans are. And you know that everything you say and do is going to be scrutinized and debated and going to be the source of pointless podcasts much like this. Mm-hmm. The Buzzer is the most pointless of the podcasts talking about it. And so you know that going into it. So there's part of me that says, if you don't want the public light, then don't sign up for this.
But they do want it, and so then it's even more fresh. Sorry, I will let you finish your soapbox.
No, you're absolutely right. And so but the problem is they do sign up for this. And I also have an empathetic piece of me that says, we don't know how much pressure that is. Like that, mm-hmm. whether or not you know what you're getting into, I can still feel for someone going through that and saying like, yeah, like that's just tough. And people really are mean on the internet. And I mean, even on our own YouTube channel, we don't get a ton of mean comments, but we do have some nasty ones that Jim's had to go in and delete because they're just despicable. And so people can be visceral. And so I have two feelings of I empathize and come on. If you don't want this, then don't put yourself out there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I lost my train of thought. That's okay. Yeah. We don't edit these. It's fine.
No, so and what I do want to talk about now, and we will get to, we have two bonus things. We'll talk about the new Bachelorette, and then you have a song for us here at the end on ukulele.
I'm going to be famous.
So
Hi, Mom.
famous. So famous. But I want to talk about
listeners, my mom and your mom.
Well, Rebecca Richards is a fine audience to have. I want to talk about the sneak peek of next week and what we think might happen here. So they've been showing us the same footage of Pete's mom being real weird about bring her home to us. This is what love stories are made of. And it just literally looks like she's ready to like feast on whoever it is.
She looks like she's competing for an Oscar against Meryl Streep. Oh,
she knows this is her moment to be on camera. She's gonna sell it. And Mrs. Weber, good for you. You've risen to the occasion.
I wonder how many Instagram followers she has. She's probably got.
Do you think she has an Instagram?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's look this up.
All right. So Emily's looking up the Instagram followers of Pilot Pete's mom, Miss Weber, and I think that overall. So we have two candidates left. We have Madison. We have Hannah Ann. I think it all comes down to it's private. She doesn't even have.
That might not be her. I don't know.
No, it doesn't matter. The point is, Madison, Hannah Ann, I'm inclined to believe it is it's someone else entirely.
Oh, I found her. She has 32,000 followers, y'all. She can start selling those FabFitFun boxes.
Wow. She's going to be the ultimate MLM, mommy blogger, slumlord. It's going to be great. So, do you think it's going to be either Madison or Hannah Ann? First question.
I don't. I think that Madison's leaving. I think that's who Barbara's talking about. She doesn't look happy to be there. I don't see there being some sort of reconciliation or solution to their conflict because what's done is done and it can't be erased. And they're not, it's not like they're married. It's not like she has to fight for this or something. She can walk away.
Swim away, Madison. Swim away.
Far, far away.
Yeah. That is the likelier scenario, but I would not put it past this show if the actual answer here is either Hannah Brown comes out of the woodwork or this rumored producer is somehow involved.
I don't think the producer thing is going to happen, but it's an exciting thought. It would definitely be the most dramatic finale of all time.
I think most out of left field finale.
But then Chris said that comment at the end that was very mysterious about no one knows the ending, not even Peter, meaning we're still up in the air. This finale is next week, and it's a live finale.
Crazy.
So does Peter even know who he's picking or what's happening? I think something's obviously not resolute.
Well, I think Peter effed it up somehow at the end, and I think that now, I think Madison takes herself off the board. And I think it's his decision of does he want to make it work with Hannah Ann or not, or is Hannah Brown coming out the woodwork? I do realistically think Hannah Brown is going to make another appearance, and I think that she's going to have a factor here.
I don't think she is. I'll be honest.
We'll see.
The Dancing with the Stars schedule has me thinking that it was physically impossible.
I don't know. They can really...
Unless there's time travel or teleportation where she could have popped into Australia.
I don't know. I think they can cover up a lot of things and make it look a certain way, but we will see.
Green screen Australia into the background and
yeah.
film it in LA.
She just FaceTimes her way in there. Like, stop, Pate, stop it. And then done.
When did she become Australian?
Yeah, that was Australian and Southern. It'd be more, oh, stop, Pate. Like,
that was a Southern accent?
I don't know.
That was really bad.
It was real bad. So let's talk about the brand new Bachelorette.
Yes.
What's her name?
Claire Crawley.
Claire Crawley.
Like she's from Downton Abbey.
There it is. Claire Crawley. So Claire Bear here is not a typical Bachelorette candidate.
No.
Why is that?
She old.
Okay.
She is 38.
She's of a mature age.
She is turning 39 the first week of filming, making her genuinely, literally old enough to be the mother of Hannah Ann or Madison. From
biologically,
a biological standpoint.
Yes. Fun fact, she's actually the mother of producer Jim. Who knew? The thing about this that's intriguing is I've long said this show would be less entertaining but so much more smooth and realistic if they just casted a bunch of 30-year-olds who are like, oh, well, it didn't work out for us. Have a great life. Wish you all the best. Amicable. And so now what I've heard from you is that they initially they cast before they know who the Bachelorette is.
Yes, so they begin casting the contestants for several months out before they actually start filming. And they usually do not lock in the Bachelor or Bachelorette until even within 48 hours of the announcement. Ari did not find out he was Bachelor until the night before, took a red-eye to New York for the announcement. So the men they chose for Claire have been in the works for months, and they didn't pick Claire until probably this week.
Wow. So they sent home a few of the contestants already.
Yes.
And swapped them out.
They've already eliminated some of the 25-year-olds, which probably means that 26 will be the bare minimum.
Which is still pretty young, and that's going to be a big storyline, because if she's 38, I mean, she's still going to have over a decade on most of them. I think you make 10 years the cutoff.
And if she wants kids, she's obviously got no time to waste, and so if that's a thing she desires, she's probably got to find a man who wants to have kids immediately.
I fear, for ABC's sake, this will be one of their lowest rated seasons.
Yeah.
And I know that's a crappy thing to say, but again, it's, to me, it's more realistic that a 38-year-old is going to have a better process of evaluation and selection, but it also means that they will probably be less dramatic.
Have you seen Claire, though?
Yeah, she is kind of all over the place.
Well, I mean, I saw her in Bachelor Winter Games 2 years ago, and she does not take crap. She's very much if Hannah Brown was a little more mature and a little older, I think that would be Claire. So I think she's going to put some men in their place. The question is whether or not the men will actually bring any drama. Because the contestants are really the ones who create the drama in the house.
Yeah, and honestly, with older dudes, you're probably going to get less. And so I imagine that they're feeling the pressure of they got to keep a few of the mid-20-somethings in there, because that's where they're really banking on.
They still need at least one or two guys who are clearly there for the wrong reasons.
You need a couple fun boys.
Yes, fun boys.
To put it
our favorite term.
Gently. You need some fun boys who are just trying to be manipulative and play and game in the system. You need some more Pilot Pete's, honestly, in this mix. And then let her just rip them apart. That would be, to me, the most entertaining thing.
And I think Claire could do it. She's ripped men apart. I think she can do it again.
I would love that. So I'm curious to see how they fill out the roster. When would that start? It generally starts in March?
They start mid-March. The week of Pete's finale, they start filming.
Well, they start filming. So we wouldn't see this till summer.
Yeah. Usually the Bachelorette premieres within the first 2 weeks of May.
Wow. Okay. And then Bachelor in Paradise is right after.
Yes, they start filming Bachelor in Paradise in May because that is when Bachelorette filming is finished. The finale's been filmed, so then they can take all those contestants who are rejected, put them on, I was going to say an island. It's Mexico.
And that's where they basically just cherry pick from the last season of The
Yes.
Bachelor and the last season of The Bachelorette.
Which that means there's going to be a lot of age difference with the men and women on Bachelor in Paradise.
Good point.
Because
Because her cast will be a little bit older.
Yeah. So think of all these baby women from Pete's season with these older men.
Didn't even consider that.
It's gonna be weird.
There's going to be a lot of little dramatic moments of these older fellas and these just gentle little cubs. And it's going to get all kinds of messy.
Is it a cougar if it's a man? Or is cougar limited to women?
I mean, I think generally it's used in a female connotation. I wonder, like, an older man, I almost said bear, but that means something entirely different.
I don't know what that means.
It's a term for an older gay man.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little more grisly.
Learned so much today.
Yeah, Emily, it's okay. Producer Jim didn't know what bear was recently either, and I educated him.
I call my husband Davy Bear.
Well, that's not the context is very different on that. No one.
Okay.
If you said that, no one would be like, "Oh, is Dave a closeted gay man?" No, that's not going to be the issue.
Okay.
Now, I will say, I think that ABC is doing right, but in terms of trying to find different demographics to go after. The issue I have is they still aren't really touching race, at least on the male side. And I think right now they're probably kicking themselves a little bit because, well, I don't know. I wonder how the ratings have been. We should have looked that up.
They've been on par with Colton's season.
Okay. Was Colton's season good?
I guess. I don't know. All I know is that Bachelor, Bachelorette, the whole franchise is huge for the female 18 to 40 market, which is every marketing person's dream come true.
Oh, on television, yeah.
So I think it doesn't even matter if it's low compared to other shows because they win the target demographic of women who spend lots of money.
Yes, that's very true. And they all have their MLMs. So what do you want to see more of with Bachelorette? Or what would you like to see happen this season?
I think that what will be nice about Claire and what I'm looking forward to is her knowing what she wants, being level-headed, being able to make smart choices about the men she wants to date, and I think that the men in general, hopefully, will be more mature, and we're going to see less men who are clearly there for Instagram fame. I think that's what the people want, and I think that's probably what ABC was going for when they made Claire the Bachelorette.
So do you think that this was the response to the backlash of you're only casting young influencers?
Yes.
You're not actually trying to cast people with altruistic intent.
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see real love stories play out, and I think that Claire is probably going to go back to the more traditional ending from way back when, like if you watch the original seasons of the show when people were actually there to find love.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I mean, I think I'd like to see what this show could have been at its best. Now, especially because there's all kinds of interesting little tweaks on what a love story show should look like Love is Blind, which, by the way, we talked about on another clip that's coming out this week. It'll come out later this week.
I finished it last night.
Yeah.
It was good.
Oh, well, I mean, I'd say I'd love to hear your thoughts, but that's on a whole nother episode.
Another episode.
But yes, so Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. Should be some interesting conclusions coming our way here. But what do you think, Buzzer Nation? Do you think that they got it right with Claire? Do you think that they got it right with Madison, Hannah Ann? Do you think they just should redo this whole season and not do it with Peter? That's what I think. I would love that.
Can we get one of those little Men in Black eraser
just
pens?
neuralizer.
Yes. Let's just erase America's memory of this season and start over.
I think that would just be best for everyone. In the meantime, we will bring you more pointless speculation over a pointless show that we all pointlessly care about. But we do care about it. So.
I care a lot about it, guys. I don't think it's pointless.
Oh, it's super pointless, but it's very entertaining. And that's why we're talking about it. No one watches The Bachelor thinking this is edifying. Like I would be hard pressed.
I watch it to criticize, to be honest.
That's why everyone watches it.
That's why I love it.
Every person in America who watches The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise just wants to judge people not so silently. And they want to think, I would have handled this way better. Here's what they should have done. And
feeling very personally called out right now because this is so mean.
Isn't that true, though?
Yes.
I mean, I would be hard-pressed to find one person who thinks, this is so wonderful. This is what love should be. My goodness, they've cracked the code. Like, no. You want to sit down on your couch in your sweats, eating Panda Express or some other equally disgusting meal, saying, I'm better than these people, and I'm going to do this with all my girlfriends and tell them how much better we all are. And that's the point of the show. And I get it. And all I'm saying is, I'm here for it. I understand. I affirm your judgment.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I'm here for. That's why I read Reality Steve, so I can know who's actually bad, who's not actually bad, and I can judge them more.
Of course. Pour yourself another glass of wine and just sit with your nose in the air. I love it. It's just fantastic.
I keep my pinkies up while I watch.
Pinkies up while you drink the wine with your nose in the air, silently farting on everyone. That's the way to do it. I love it. Or in our roommate's case, literally farting on everyone. Watching with guys is a very different experience. This went downhill. Now, what hasn't gone downhill is a bonus treat here for the very end. Emily has actually prepared a song.
Now I'm embarrassed.
Well, here we are. They've listened this far. They've tuned in for the last 20-something minutes.
Now's a good time to tune out, guys.
Or this is a good time to listen. So this is Emily's Bachelor song that she wrote.
Okay. Disclaimer.
She learned how to play ukulele literally like a couple weeks ago.
I'm learning the ukulele, and so to help me learn my chords, I wrote this song.
Nice.
To go with the chords.
Perfect.
I also am not a great singer. And
not with that attitude.
Ukulele is hard.
Here's Emily's Bachelor song on the ukulele for the first time ever. We'll see how it goes.
Well, see, I already messed it up.
Nailed it.
We're out of tune. It's fine. Peter is so dumb, why won't he see? He belongs with Madison. Victoria F. She's the absolute worst. A minor mistake was made in keeping her around. F the season. F Peter. Madison for Bachelorettes.
Wow.
It was written before the Claire Crawley thing, but yeah.
Amazing. Wow. That was if Taylor Swift wrote a song about The Bachelor, I think that's what she probably would have come up with.
I think that my lyrics are on par with the Taylor Swift song.
Oh, just visceral hatred for men that are wrong each other. Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah.
Well, this show has had it all. We've talked Bachelor, we've talked upcoming Bachelorette, we've talked about conspiracy theories, we had a song. I don't know what else you could ask for in a Bachelor recap. Producer Jim, we nailed it, right? He says,
this was the best show we've ever
thumbs
done.
up. Thumbs up. Well, great. Well, if you like this, then we've got more content for you. We have new episodes of The Buzzer, which is more of a pop culture survey of pop culture. These are generically funny stories. Those episodes come out on Wednesdays. We have Bachelor recaps on Tuesdays, / some other reality TV show recap, I'm sure, in the interim. And then we got an episode about Love is Blind coming out this week. And we have tons of fun clips, including one on why Disney tried to outwoke themselves with Mulan, and they end up doing something pretty unwoke. So lots of fun stuff this week. If you wouldn't mind, go over to Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, The Buzzer Podcast, or check us out on any of the other social medias. That would be super great if you did. And if you want to win a free t-shirt, go over, or a free hat or tote bag, go over to thebuzzerpodcast.com/shirt, and then go ahead and follow us on some of the social medias. You'll be entered for a chance to win some free swag. At the very least, you'll get 20% off your next purchase on the Buzzer Podcast store. And so, all pretty nifty things. Anything to say in closing, Emily?
See you later.
That was adorable. You guys are great. Make good choices. Name them all after me. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.